Welcome to Lesson 10, Commands. A sentence that expresses a command or suggestion is called an imperative sentence. So when we have a sentence that's a command, it's always going to start with the understood or implied you. And when we diagram that, we put an X in the subject line. So for example, the sentence wait, I'm commanding you to wait. So I would put an X in the subject line, and then wait would be my verb. For be good, again, who am I telling to be good? I'm commanding you to be good. So in the subject area, I would put an X. Be, remember, is a common linking verb, and good is a predicate adjective telling me something about my subject. And that's all we have for commands. So when we diagram again, it's an X stands for the unexpressed word. So let's do a couple examples together. Drive carefully. Well, who am I telling to drive carefully? I'm telling you to drive carefully. So it's the understood you as a subject, so I draw an X in my subject line. What am I commanding you to do? I'm telling you to drive. How are you supposed to drive? You're supposed to drive carefully. And remember, when we have words answering how about the verb, that's an adverb. Another good clue, it ends in ly. So because it's telling me something about my verb, it's modifying drive. How should you drive? You should drive carefully. Carefully is diagrammed underneath the verb. Let's look at another one. Read the directions. Who am I telling to read the directions? I'm telling you to read the directions. So it's the understood you. And then read is my verb. Again, remember, whatever capitalized in the sentence, make sure you capitalize in your diagram. You read what? Directions. So directions is my direct object. Don't forget to cross off the words after you diagram them. And now I'm just left with the. An and the are always articles, and they act as modifiers. Let's look at one that has a linking verb. So let's look at number 7. Be a hard worker. Who am I telling to be a hard worker? I'm telling you to be a hard worker. So in the subject line, we have the understood you, which is an X. Be is my verb, and it's a linking verb. So a linking verb gets a backslash. And what am I telling you to be? I'm telling you to be a worker. Because a worker and hard worker are both modifying them. And the last one that we're going to look at is number 6, don't drop the ball. When we have contractions like don't, what you're going to do is just keep it together. You don't have to separate it into do and not. So if I'm saying don't drop the ball, again, who am I commanding? I'm commanding you. So then when I have my verb phrase, which is don't drop, because that's what our action is, don't drop, you would keep don't together. You don't have to separate it out. Oops. Don't drop what? Ball. Ball is my direct object. And then I'm just left with the word the. The is modifying ball. And that's our last diagram.